set, go. Three guys, one mic, a lot of heavy. Oh yeah.
Hello, I'm Jeff Crenshaw, and you're listening to Heavy Set Go. Benjamin and Alan Burrell are presumably in dreamland because as we record this, it's almost 2 in the morning. Twice, I have to say, our guest tonight has made history because he is not only the first person to be a returning guest, but he's also the first person who is a guest on the show, period. His name is synonymous with Jordan Yaroslavsky, and his name is Jordan Yaroslavsky. Welcome, Jordan Yaroslavsky.
Yeah, or just call me Jordan Yaroslavsky for short.
Jordan Yaroslavsky.
For short, yeah.
So if I don't have time to say Jordan Yaroslavsky, I just have to say...
Jordan Yaroslavsky.
Jordan Yaroslavsky.
Yeah.
That really saves time out of my day. So, I see you got a little smoke pin there with you.
No, this is I'm not a smoker, man. I get behind the biggest anti-smoking campaigns. I hate big tobacco, but
Not even occasionally. You don't take an occasional cigar.
Well, I mean, just the one I'm smoking right now. But
So what is that?
This is a vape pen.
A vape
and you have apparently been living under a rock for the past.
I thought they were called e-cigarettes, or is that
No,
Aragon?
an e-cigarette is that's big tobacco, by the way, because e-cigarette is the one that owned by the tobacco companies, where they just sell the cartridges, and they're more commonly found in the convenience stores. Whereas these you go to specialized shops and buy liquid fluids. You got like 500 million flavors, probably, if you add up all the flavors. Yeah, my favorite, I got the cotton candy and the grape going on, Grape-alicious cotton candy going on right now.
Wow.
So just a little nicotine buzz.
Sounds good. Sounds good. It's a little bit of tobacco. Isn't that still kind of supporting big tobacco, or do you get your nicotine elsewhere?
Depends on how you look at it. I mean,
is your money going to big tobacco?
I haven't actually followed my money on that one, but
so it's better if you just don't know.
Yeah, but it's not going to Afghanistan to the Taliban.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I know that much.
Unlike Krispy Kreme, where every time I buy a Glazed, it goes to the Al-Qaeda. That's not true, by the way. I don't want to get sued by Krispy Kreme. Yes. I don't want to get banned.
Past 2 a.m., we have leeway to say anything that pops into our mind. After that ADR session we just had.
So how was that?
That was cathartic. Yeah. I
describe how that
cried, I orgasmed, what else did I do? I mean, is that pretty much it? Just a combination of those three.
You repeated dialogue about 50 times each.
That is, I am a devoted character actor, and I want to make sure the job gets done fine, even if it sounds like I'm a little girl. After acting like a big man with the gun.
So, he kind of sound like a... Let's not spoil anything, but
yeah.
You kind of sound like a little girl. Say, "Daddy, can I have a lolly?"
Daddy, I want a lolly.
I'll give you a lolly if you're a good little girl for Daddy.
Lolly. Yeah. Lolly? Come on, who's too old to appreciate a lolly?
Who calls them lollies?
What the hell is a lolly?
It's like a lollipop.
Oh.
So like a sucker.
Like one of those ones that are like rainbow colored, like
like
a
a
large
spiral.
one you get it like on Seaside.
The big circle spiral.
Yeah. Yeah. Not those ones that 88-year-old ladies hand out. Those little ones in plastic. No, I love you, Grandma. No. I mean, Grandma, just stop giving me those hard candies. They're really gross and they're expired.
Oh, you mean like those like ribbon candies that come in
Yes.
the can? Yes. I remember. I remember plenty of summer days going to an elder's house. Would you like some ribbon candy?
The only time I was pleasantly surprised is when it was a Werther's.
Ooh,
Or maybe butterscotch, sometimes not butterscotch, but Werther's definitely. Caramel. Yeah.
I think the deal with the candy is they get this candy that, my grandchild or whoever else will enjoy this eventually. But they see their grandchildren so rarely that like the once a month they show up, by the time they arrive, the candy has calcified into this
I thought they were saving them from the time they bought them during the Great Depression because they got such a good deal on them.
We're saving them for Jesus' return.
And yeah, right. Well, every single everything that if your grandparents are like my grandparents, then they save everything. Leftovers. They'll buy cottage cheese and save the cottage cheese container. And my grandfather died recently of blessed memory. So
I'm sorry.
We took stuff out of the house and seriously, the attic just full of just like cottage cheese containers empty.
Wow.
Yeah, like these. I'm glad you made good use of these. The Great Depression maybe would have came in handy.
Well, I'm sorry about your grandfather.
That was a while ago. It was 6 months ago. It was a long time ago. Yeah, and he lived to 90, 91.
That's a pretty good lifetime.
He's veteran. I mean, he was there at Normandy. He didn't run the GAN. I mean, he was there, I think, after the initial fight, but he lost his brother in the concentration camp, actually.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Yeah, but he was American. He got shot down.
Was his brother not American, or?
No, he was American. Yeah,
Oh,
they're all American because they're immigrants, and that's why they're all put. I believe that's why they ended up kind of in the front line. My grandfather was a little younger, and just so happens, kind of entered the war a little bit later. It was just after D-Day, so he kind of, as an infantryman, brand new, and the youngest of his siblings, he was most likely to survive. But all his siblings got drafted.
You know what's kind of funny? Hitler, famous for initiating one of the worst genocides in the history of the world, the Holocaust.
Yes, the Shoah.
The Shoah.
Yeah.
I heard that word for the first time the other day, and I didn't know what it meant at first. But that's what you refer to as the Holocaust.
Do you know why they call it the Shoah?
I don't.
It's because the Holocaust is a Greek word that means a sacrifice, and
that's not.
No, 6 million Jews were not sacrificed.
No.
The Shoah is like a tragedy. It's a mess. Yeah.
It's just a massacre, basically.
Yeah, but there are other genocides like the Armenian genocide that happened in I think the 1900s or teens or something.
That's like 100 years ago.
And they're in Israel today. They're trying between Israel and Turkey. They're trying to determine was that an actual genocide, and it's like Israel, wake up. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
Turkey doesn't want to admit that it's a genocide.
You where it happened, yeah. I mean,
the Turks
don't want to call it a genocide. Yeah.
I don't know what. Why can't you just
know a lot about it? But
I don't know a lot about it either, but it evidently happened. I need to take a class about it or something. I feel like I could use some education.
You could just go on Wikipedia.
But Hitler, who perpetuated the Shoah, didn't mind killing all those Jews and gypsies and gays, mainly Jews.
Yeah, but yes,
But he committed this huge crime against humanity. But one thing he refused to do was use mustard gas in war. He thought it was too cruel because he had been mustard gassed when he was a soldier in the First World War.
Well, it's against the Geneva anyway, but after World War One.
But he refused to use it, but he was willing to kill all those millions of people.
He refused to eat meat and was a big advocate of... It's just the facts. He was a big advocate of anti-animal cruelty. He hated animal cruelty.
That is ridiculous.
He was a vegetarian. He was, and hated animal cruelty. This is one of the things he used against the Jews because he said that the Jews, the way that they slaughtered their animals was not... It was the worst way to do it. The kosher farms. And not only that, but he did give his dog a cyanide capsule before he did himself.
Oh,
Go figure. The guy wasn't all the way there.
He had syphilis brain, I believe.
Yeah, he did. Syphilis. But what was I gonna say? Hitler perpetuated is a good word because that climate was just the norm for. Germany was better before the Great Depression, before World War One ended, and then the Great Depression. Germany was better for the Jewish people than most other European countries.
Yeah.
You know
what's funny? Hitler was all pissed off about how supposedly the Jews controlled everything and the Jews were in charge of the financial institutions and they were driving Germany to ruin, which it wasn't the Jews' fault. It was reparations Germany had to pay from World War One, but he used the Jews to scapegoat them. But you know what's funny about him being angry about the Jews controlling those institutions? That was a tradition that was established during, I think, the feudalism period in Europe.
Oh yeah.
The Christians, the Christian elite, powerful, they considered it a sin to have people borrow money and then you charge them interest on that money. So they
had the Rothschild.
They had the Jews do it.
Yeah.
They say, all right, we'll just get the Jews to make all of this money, and then they can go to hell anyway. And so the Jewish people got super rich, and then they get pissed off.
Some people did.
Well, some people, I don't want to, of course, not all of them, but they get pissed off because of the system that they set up to
that's true.
Screw the Jews over to hell for.
But that's an interesting point because. It's hard to understand these times, but in Germany specifically, feudalism, it was illegal for a Christian to make money off interest. Now imagine today that being the case. Okay, I can't. Seriously, this $5 bill in my pocket is already accumulated interest because I borrowed it from somebody for 5 days.
Every time you let money sit in a bank account, it accumulates interest.
But back then, that's how the Rothschilds started. So, for instance, that Rothschild, the Lord, the Lord Rothschild, whatever, I don't remember his first name, but that's how he got started. He changed his name from something to Rothschild, which means red sign in German.
Mm-hmm.
And that would he took his son's and this was a big deal, like to Hitler, and part of their propaganda was that you're right, hypocritically they put Jews in a position to where they're money brokers and ahead of their time at that, because not everybody does it, you know, so there were some Jews who got very wealthy,
and people got resentful because of it.
Yeah, well, but here's the messed up, the fucked up part about it. With very few exceptions, those Jews never got thrown in concentration camps.
Really?
Oh no, they were rich. They left. They were able to leave.
Oh, that's true.
Or in some cases, there were cases of Jews who served in the German military during World War II.
And they weren't just shot on the battlefield?
No, not by their own team. No. In fact,
that's amazing.
There's a story,
I thought they were just.
I've heard so many Holocaust stories. There's a story of a Jewish man who still, because obviously Jews served in World War I in Germany. I mean, Hitler's captain was a Jewish man, a corporal or whatever. But there was an incident of that man, well aware. Sometimes people don't know their blood, their ethno-related. They're Jewish. Sometimes they actually don't know that. But yeah, the guy knew he was Jewish. He's in the Nazi uniform. He's the soldier, a stormtrooper, and he's watching Jews get shot. And he said, "What could I do?"
That would be an odd position to be in.
It's yeah,
to say the least.
It's a twister, man. But I mean, Hitler. Again, there was an opportunity. That was a time rife with opportunity for people of low morale, but that was the time. And Hitler was perpetuating the notions that were already hell. When the Red Army liberated the concentration camps. First of all, who knows the number? You don't know if the numbers they gave were accurate. You don't know what they liberated the Jews, but these are the Red Army has the Soviet Union and specifically the pre-Soviet, pre-Bolshevik Russia,
the Tsar Russia.
Tsarist Russia, for centuries were the most anti-Semitic country and still is to this day.
Really?
Germany's not anti-Semitic. I mean, you have very few exceptions. Like I saw a Vice story on a Nazi village. Come on, those are a bunch of old farts that
survived.
It's like the equivalent of our redneck KKK members that are
riding around in horses.
That are just chewing, have chew in the mouth and sitting in the back of pickup trucks.
We got to come back to that later. KKK, remind me.
Okay, but yeah, no. It's never changed because the Allies, the Russian army, the Red Army was, by the way, I told you my grandfather and his siblings were all drafted in World War II. Mm-hmm. Everyone who stayed back in Russia were drafted and inducted into the Red Army. They're Ukrainian, so they were sent to the front line.
Wow.
My great grandfather's mother starved to death, which was a famine that was well known. Stalin stole all the food from Ukraine. So that same shit, and the women too were inducted into the Red Army, sent to the front line. I'm sure none of them survived. So I mean, we don't know anything about that, and that's why a lot of people don't know about their Jewish.
Well, I guess you can look at it. Russia's
still anti-Semitic, though, is my point.
But they were
because they had never had to face it. They were able politically smart enough to be friends with the Allies. Today, it's pretty much not a good idea to be Jewish in Russia. Yeah, that's why Anton Yeltsin's family left.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But you were saying they sent women to the front, the battlefront. So you have to say they were on the forefront of gender equality in the military.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. That's
Progress.
a good one. Yeah.
But
But I don't think you could break a nail and get out of that front line though. That's the thing.
Ooh, sexist Yaroslavsky.
Wait, it's past 2 a.m.
It's bad. You could get away with everything.
And I'm divorced.
I wonder why.
Yeah. But no, I've read a lot about Russia, you know.
You seem to know a lot about it.
And I have a lot of Russian friends, Ukrainian friends. It's funny when you're friends with people, but you know, if it were back then, you guys would have been enemies, you know. But that's your friends. That's your friend, you know. So
depends on the climate and the culture of when you're growing up.
You would, yeah.
It's KKK.
KKK.
Have you seen a show on CNN called The United Shades of America?
No, I don't think so.
Oh God, it's great. It's basically this black guy goes around to various places where you don't traditionally see black people. In the first episode, he's
not like Oregon. You mean like how they have segregated counties in the South?
There's like I think there's a Portland episode, sadly, but
I find that ridiculous because Portland's. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead.
Portland, it's an old joke to say Portland is all white because Portland they say is not diverse because it's not 90% black. Because Detroit's diverse because it's 90% black. I mean, just think about that because Portland's actually most representative of our country in as far as if you just the city. Outside in Oregon, that's not true.
No.
Yeah. But in Portland, and people say Portland's so white. And it's like, you know, it's actually pretty ubiquitous with what our country is as far as the number of Asians, the number, you know, when they do the census, the number of African Americans, the number of Hispanics, and it's pretty on par with the rest of our country.
Portland's a slice of America.
Actually, I wouldn't go that far because Portland is too unique. I'm sorry. Go on. What were you saying?
It is unique.
Yeah.
Before I get back to it,
yeah.
Did you know Oregon was the only state to outlaw black people?
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, this black dude, I forget what his name is.
I don't know. I didn't know it was the only state, but I knew it was supposed to be the white utopia state. And,
it's the only state that outlawed black people. Like other states,
be there, period.
They couldn't be in the state. They couldn't be within the borders of Oregon, which I find insane.
Yeah.
But hey, it's different now.
No, but yeah, it's so different. Yeah.
But United Shades of America. This guy goes to a Klan meeting. He interviews Klan members, like I think over a period of several days, because he interviews like several different prominent white supremacists in the certain area. And the end of the episode is him attending a cross burning. And but there was one scene that made me laugh so hard. I forget the verse he was using. Is that
Bible verse?
Yeah, the Klan. This Klansman was just,
well, they only know 4.
Yeah, probably. But this Klansman was talking about. He was asking. So I could get this completely wrong. You have to watch the episode yourself. But essentially, what happened was this guy is talking to this guy wearing a white hood, this black guy, and it's perfectly. The conversation is surprisingly cordial. A black dude talking to a guy in a Klan outfit.
This is the new Klan,
I was expecting so much more hostility, and they're still fucking despicable people. But the black dude's like, so why do you think I'm worth less than you? Like why do you believe in white supremacy? What makes you supreme over me? And he's like something along the lines, well, the Bible says that.
The Hebrew Bible.
The Bible says that God took the children of Cain and punished them by turning them all black. And so...
I mean, Mormon, he's Mormon?
No,
that was a kind of
I think that was
Mormon belief too, though. But I know that's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. They blacken the children of Cain so that all the Cain's descendants are black from now on, and they are the lesser people because Cain murdered his brother. And and then he's like, oh, do you know it's also considered an abomination to eat shellfish? He's like, yeah,
the Ten Commandments.
And the guy says in Leviticus, actually, I believe.
Is that but it also says keep kosher in the Ten Commandments.
Does it?
I don't know.
Who knows? But he says the black dude is like, oh, it says don't eat shellfish in I think Leviticus,
right?
And the clan dude is like, oh, that's when I break all the time. I went to Red Lobster recently, and he's like, did you? Yeah, I had the ultimate feast. It's funny how dogmatic he's willing to get, but then he gets so excited when he's breaking Leviticus. I'm having the ultimate feast.
There's some Christians that, like Seventh-day Adventists, who actually do follow a lot of the same holidays that Jewish people traditionally follow.
Really? Like Yom Kippur?
I don't know about that, but I know it's the Sabbath, which is every Saturday, every Friday, sunfall, nightfall on Friday. And
Shomer Shabbos.
Shabbat, Shabbos is Yiddish, Shabbat is Hebrew, Sabbath, Saturday.
I just learned that from Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah. I'm Jewish, God.
Shomer fucking Shabbos!
That's a brilliant movie, man.
Oh, man.
So there are some Christian groups, but majority, especially Protestant, but majority, they don't follow it. I don't understand it. And
mainstream Christianity is Sunday.
It's Sunday's the day, and I don't know if that's in the book or was that. Do you know? I don't know. Were you raised religious Christian at all?
More along the line, nominal Christian. Went to church occasionally.
So kind of like me, basically.
Kind of.
I probably went to church as much as or more than I went to synagogue. So yeah, there's more churches than synagogues.
That's true.
In Portland. So
I didn't go to church that often, but for me, when growing up, what church meant was like getting up really early in the morning.
So I didn't like doing it.
I didn't. I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it to an extent, but getting up early in the morning, we'd walk in and there'd be like mountain high piles of donut holes, like before you walk in to like where the rows are to the front of the stage and the drums and everything.
That's the first thing you remember.
Oh, of course. But there'd be like 3 huge, like silver-looking trays.
Did you eat them right then, or did you have to wait?
I'd grab like a handful and go to my chair. I remember we didn't have pews. It was kind of a the church that I first went to when I was a kid was Dayspring, and they had kind of a. And again, I've been like 3 times a year, maybe at most, for 3-4 times a year. But they had, I guess that's what you call a creaster. Christmas, Easter, and a couple other times.
Christmas, yeah.
But they had padded chairs, but after a while they got really stiff, and at the end of every time I went to church, my legs would be numb. But you
wouldn't like Catholic. Because it's all it is exercise. Up, down, kneel, raise.
I've
my
filmed a Catholic
family's Catholic, so and my ex-wife has Catholic family too. So
I went to a Catholic. I was hired to film a Catholic wedding once, and I was astonished at how long the wedding was. I was like, I'm, Protestant, which is pretty much what I was raised, non-denominational Protestant kind of, kind of mainstream WASP, whatever. I've been to a few of those weddings, and it's pretty straight to the point. You set up, all right, everyone rise. Here comes the bride, and then they kiss, and then, or they say the vows, they kiss and everything, and they a prayer, Lord, bring together these people that are so in love, They leave. Everyone has cake at the reception, and the Catholic wedding. It was kind of a culture shock, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I figured it'd be similar because it's Christianity, but they go into.
It is, isn't it? But
It's
a lot of people don't like to. Yeah, like the Mormons aren't Christians. Mormons are Christians. I'm sorry. But,
it's.
in my opinion.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
But the Catholics do it differently. All right. It was a culture shock.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
There was like someone came up and stood in front of the stage and sang this hymn, and I still remember it pretty well because because the way she waved her hand in this certain way, and I like to do it occasionally as an inside joke with Ben. But she's like, "This is the day the Lord has made, so come on and be happy. This is the day the Lord has made, so why don't you be glad?" And she like. I can't. It won't be conveyed in the podcast, but the way she.
Yeah, he's moving his hand convulsively over here. If he wasn't talking, I would have to check him into at least urgent care, not the hospital.
He's moving his hand. Something's wrong.
She's singing, and she's you're in the moment. Yeah.
Oh, and I really had a lot of fun. The church was when I walked in, and it had this immediate peaceful feeling.
But you couldn't take communion because you weren't Catholic, right?
No.
Yeah.
But they did. They had blessings. The priest comes in. He offered communion to all the Catholics, and there were a lot of Catholics. Yeah. Probably surprising to some people, we had communion at my church. It was the non-denominational church. What they did was they put.
So that means technically it's not Protestant either?
It's Protestant because it's not Catholic.
Yeah, Catholic is this. Yeah,
Catholic is kind of the original, and then Martin Luther broke off and splintered.
Orthodox too. The first church was actually the Armenian Orthodox Church.
Ah.
If you didn't know that. That was the first established church, I think.
I didn't know that.
In the 2nd century AD.
But the way communion works at my church growing up is they take these huge trays, and they, basically, do you know when you get like liquid cough syrup, they come with the plastic cups that...
The Vicodin?
Go on top?
It's Vicodin, man. Get me on board. That stuff's good.
No, but the plastic cups that come on liquid cough syrup?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They basically have like trays, and each tray has like 100 of them. And they would pass them out to the church, and it filled with grape juice, and that'd be the communion, and the bread would be, and it's like, all right, this is Christ's blood, but the Catholics had just one big, like, loving cup full of wine that they would pass around, and that took forever.
Yeah.
And then, and instead of like a simple prayer and getting right down to business, he started like talking about a story from Scripture. And it was so-and-so who loved so-and-so, so they decided to do this, and they took a vow of marriage.
Still.
And this is the wedding. And he like told this huge, long biblical story, and then it was basically a church service, a full-blown church service, but it was a wedding. And he talks about, I forget the specifics, but he talks about these people from the Bible. And then he's like, and then he goes on to elucidate what the meaning of the story could be for the couple. And I think what you can learn from this couple from the Bible, because in marriage, the things are, and he goes on, and a whole bunch of different stuff.
Sometimes for weddings, especially funerals, but sometimes when people aren't overly religious, they have someone there who doesn't really know them that well too, so it's a stretch to make it work. And I have mad respect for people that do services like that, who they don't know the person they're talking for, or they just met them if it's a wedding.
It's so awkward though at funerals
when the priest doesn't know that.
It's I'll get back on that. But after the service, the priest was like, and anyone who isn't Catholic but would like to receive a blessing may come up here and I will bless you.
Really?
And like, yeah, you walk up and they walked. I ended up not going because I was there as I figured it'd be stupid for the camera guy to walk up, give me my blessing, Father.
Yeah,
but
that reminds me of a really interesting or funny story. Depending on how you look at it.
Oh, I want to hear it. But like one after another, they walked up with their hands over their hearts. The wedding must have been like 2 hours long. It was the longest wedding I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was over an hour.
Not even including the reception, huh?
No, the reception was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Is that
the 2 hours and then.
Oh no, it wasn't including the reception. It was just the ceremony.
No, Catholics. If you actually go through Catholic school, it's a lot of work. Yeah. No, what I was going to say.
What happened?
But a Catholic experience. Technically, it was Episcopalian. I believe that's correct.
I knew someone who was Episcopal. They described it as being Catholic light.
Yes, it was Episcopalian. But it was all Spanish. It was all Mexican. It was my ex's. She had a cousin who was having a quinceañera. That's a
15th birthday.
15th birthday. It's like a sweet 16, but in Mexico they do it for 15.
I think it's like far more significant. Like it's a cultural milestone.
It's a big deal, yeah.
It's not. It's basically almost to the level of like a bat mitzvah, but they only do it for girls.
Yeah, sure. Rite of passage, sure.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we're there, and people don't realize how anti-Semitic the world is, right? I mentioned Russia. Pretty much. Okay. Well, this is all Mexican. A lot of immigrants. Some Mexicans born here. Pretty much all Mexican here, except for me. Right. So, the guy's talking in Spanish. The priest or whatever, the wannabe priest, because he's not quite Catholic. I don't know, but everything.
He's a priest.
Everything follows the same thing. They even follow the Pope, I think. But the first thing the guy asks when we all enter is, he says, "Is everyone here Catholic?" Yeah. And
what?
My ex, she goes, "No." And Cristo? Is everyone in here Christian? No. Como?
Oh God. There's one among us.
Somos judío. We're Jewish. ¿Qué? I told a rabbi about it. He couldn't believe it.
Okay.
Because if you're in a synagogue, maybe if you were in an ultra-Orthodox synagogue, I don't know. But, I just couldn't fathom it. But, yeah, they were really like, this is not right. But,
guys, I found the two-headed zebra.
Yeah, right, it always reminds me of Borat. Before he turns into a cockroach, hurry up, give him money. Seriously, but most of the world is anti-Semitic in just culture, but if it's just like one Jewish person, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Unless you're in Arab world, that's different, but you could be American and still have that same issue.
I've heard the word Jew used as a verb in a derogatory
way.
Yeah. Like they use the word, I've heard people use the word Jew to mean like cheat. Like, he Jewed me out of that Ford pickup or something.
I have friends that do that right in front of me.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they know you're Jewish?
Oh yeah, I say shit to them too though. I got thick skin though. You know what I mean? So because it's just, my dad was a cop. My dad was a rough father. So so I have thick skin. Stuff like that doesn't bother me, and that wasn't how I was. I was sensitive as a kid. It's just my exposure, in my case. I just learned to find humor in it. And plus, it helps when you're, 210 pounds, 6'2", and not afraid to fight because they grew up fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Me and my brother would fight. You know, we're Ukrainian, man. We'd fight, dude. I mean, Ukrainians are rough, man. And I don't know, it's in our blood. And with my dad being I don't know if we can hear, with my dad being a cop, you know, a Portland cop, there was a lot of encouragement in fighting. So as you see, I have scars in my eyes, you know, for various reasons. And one right here, actually, broken jaw.
What was your dad's name?
Craig.
Craig Yaroslavsky.
No.
Really?
I have my mom's name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Craig Ectona.
Ectona.
Yeah.
I had a friend who had his mom's name for a while, but he changed it to his dad's.
Yeah, it's a long story, but
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no point in getting into it. But
No problem.
what's it like? 6 a.m. What about you and Ben talked about 9/11 last time?
Oh, you missed out on our
always
9/11 conversation,
Yeah.
but since we're still within the month of 9/11, it's still September. You have a story?
I understand why you're talking about 9/11 now, because it is September. Okay. Well, no, you guys were talking about what you were doing at 9/11. I don't know if, you know, I don't remember what I was doing. Because me and a friend took a bunch of, you know, psychedelic mushrooms.
On the actual September 11th?
Yeah.
How old
we
were
were
you?
Kids, man. I don't remember. We were old, man.
How old are you now?
We were tough kids, man. It's 16.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So, no, I was younger than that even. But it was a trip. So the two experiences I had on psychedelics, because I did this when I was so young that I just wouldn't touch them now. But the one was, 9/11 on mushrooms. And I remember I called my friend John. He's from Chicago.
9/11.
Yeah, 9/11 in the morning.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's still awake. And and so I call him, and we did mushrooms the night before, and he's still, you know, tripping, you know, and they're natural, you know, I don't know, probably shouldn't take them when you're 6, but, you know. But anyway.
Did you just pick them out of your yard, or?
No, it was
official stuff.
A cousin, yeah, who had, like, they actually, like, they harvest them kind of thing and dry them, and then you chew them and try not to chew too much. But so I called him the next morning, and he goes, I go, dude, turn on the TV, and first of all, my mom, because I actually did fall asleep, and my mom woke me up screaming, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
I mean, my mom's screaming, dude. She scared me because she's screaming in her sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I turned on the TV, and I think already the first tower fell, and the second one was about to. But so I called my buddy John Crosby, and he works in the military now.
Oh,
I'm sure he'd love me to mention that. I don't care. He's a photojournalist. He was in Iraq.
Wow.
So I called him, and I go, dude, turn on the TV. He's like, what happened? Is there like an earthquake or something, or did he kind of touched on it? Did a bomb go off? And I'm like, dude, think bigger. And I didn't remember that until like when he went to Indiana to work for the Indiana National Guard. And when I was back east, and we hung out, he's like, dude, and he reminded me of that. And it was just something that stuck with him, and I didn't remember saying that. But, okay, the other incident on psychedelics, I watched The Matrix in the theater.
Oh, wow.
On LSD. And we walked like 6 miles, man.
What's that like, being on LSD? Does it really, like, do you really see colors
it's been
and
so
stuff?
long, man. I don't even smoke pot. But it's been so long. But yeah, I mean, yeah. If you take enough, they call them different plateaus. But it's all stuff that's there subtextually in you anyway. So like you could dream about something, and it could be similar to LSD experience. They say you hear colors, and it's a sensory cross. So I understand what they're saying.
How can you hear colors? That makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense because it's a sensory cross. So of certain just the network in the brain, but. So yeah, anyway, I remember watching, and I was always the youngest kid. It was always my friends were older than me, and so I was always frightened. But I tell you what, I thought it was the best movie ever, but I don't remember a damn thing about it.
Really?
Yeah, and they had already seen it before, or at least one of them. And I was asking them, so are all the animals in the Matrix too? Like. No, those are just no. You don't understand. Like they're just computer programs. I mean, have you seen The Matrix?
I saw the first one like about when it came out.
I mean, I think I still would have. I think it's a brilliant just sci-fi. I'm not big on sci-fi, but Star Wars and Matrix, man, I love
Star Wars.
Star Wars and Matrix, man. Star Wars especially. Yeah.
I didn't really care for The Matrix personally, but a lot of people love it.
Yeah. Well. Again, being on the LSD. But yeah, then we had to walk, so we missed the MAX, the Metropolitan Area Express train, so we had to walk 6 miles back.
That's what it stands for?
I think so, yeah. Metropolitan Area Express.
I never knew that.
Yeah, so what else can I say? No, I just...
he doesn't play by the rules.
When he was active, actually, no, he was against it, but I think he kind of got wiser. But my dad he had mental issues too.
Yeah.
In his case. But my brother, I mean, had no issues smoking pot. I hope his kids aren't listening. But they're not on Facebook, so I'm not too worried about it. But,
when this blows up and turns into a worldwide Mark Maron level podcast.
Yeah, you love your dressing at ghosts in your past. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny. But some people, just like my brother, it's no problem. I mean, it affects them less than alcohol, I mean, I don't like smoking it, especially the stronger stuff. I just never got into it. But I grew up around it, and part of that is just being in Oregon.
It's legal now.
It is illegal. Now I don't even care.
Although companies will still fire you.
I know, they can, yeah, absolutely. We're an at-will employment nation. They can fire you pretty much for anything, unless it's really discriminatory. Yeah.
It's, I think once it becomes, I think it's inevitable, but it'll become federally legal.
These guys...
It'll be a decade or more, but it'll happen.
These guys some of these feds will go to their graves before they accept that pot is not as dangerous as heroin and crack. You know what I mean?
I don't think people should drive though while they're on it.
Oh, absolutely not. No,
because it definitely impairs people.
But you could literally take a Benadryl and it shows up in the urine test they give you at the county, at least like in Washington County here. Mm-hmm. So technically, you could be under the influence of an antidepressant. You could be, and if it's affecting your driving, and they could still ticket you for anything. So I mean, but yeah, obviously, anything that it affects. If you don't have a tolerance for it, if you don't have a steady dose, take it medicated, then yeah.
I take Benadryl to fall asleep.
I do too. I love it for sleep and melatonin.
Yeah. Does that, what is melatonin? Is it just a drug or what is it?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's regulated at all. FDA regulated. It's not prescribed. The FDA tries to get their hands on everything sometimes, but no, it's a natural. What it does is it's essentially it's the chemical in your brain that releases when the lights go off. So it works especially if you turn the lights off, and then there's a chemical reaction, the neurological reaction in your brain that says time to go to sleep.
It just shuts
When
down
it's
your
dark.
body.
Yeah, and melatonin. You never taken it?
Yeah.
Some people probably doesn't work for. Some people it does. You take between 3 and 10 milligrams.
I've taken valerian root, which did absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Have you heard of it?
It could have been poor quality. Oh yeah, I've taken it. What? What's that?
Yeah, it didn't work for me.
No. It depends. It's hit or miss with me. It smells like fungus, like socks that a junior high P kid would wear. It just smells awful. So. But it's supposed to be one of the strongest supplements. But everybody's different. So when it comes to that stuff.
I think when Dr. Conrad Murray gets out of prison, I'll hire him to help me with my insomnia. If you could do it for MJ, you could do it for me. Just, hold back a little this time.
Wait. Conrad Murray.
He's the guy that killed Michael Jackson.
I know. I was thinking he did go to jail.
He went to jail. He might be out now, I'm not
Manslaughter?
sure. Manslaughter. He,
Incredible.
He
he's
responsible for Michael Jackson's death.
No, I know, but it's just bizarre because no one else would get that treatment,
Oh.
You know what I mean? I mean, not no one, but...
Well, he was directly involved in administering the drug as well, and he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he messed up. He should go to jail. Yeah, he shouldn't just lose his job, but I'm just saying that... I'm not trying to defend him, but it's weird. I guess it's just a doctor maybe with low morals. I don't know.
Well, he's a Dr. Feelgood.
Maybe Michael had him on payroll.
Of course, that's what happened. Yeah. Michael, they go through doctors until they find one that's a little easier to ply with money, and then. Once they find him, they say, "Hey, doctor, here's $1,000.
That's what Hitler did, by the way.
Oh, Hitler did that?
You didn't know that? He had a huge junkie. He took a lot of drugs, prescribed.
Wow. He
had a doctor around him all the time. This was a doctor that would treat the Duchess of... this was a well-known doctor, and he joined the Nazi party because he looked too Jewish. He wasn't Jewish, but I guess he had maybe a darker complexion and kind of stuck out, and people stopped going to see him. And he joined the Nazi party. I can't remember his name, but...
Is it Mengele?
No, that was a twisted doctor. This doctor was not... The Allies let him go because he was just a treating doctor. Mengele... is a disgusting...
He's a monster.
It's sad. It brings tears to my eyes just thinking about Mengele. I mean, just what he did.
Like I should have been shot on sight when the Allies came in.
I think he was he the highest ranking to not get caught too?
Oh, he wasn't caught?
I think he did not get caught.
And one of those guys that got to Argentina?
Possibly Argentina, yeah. South America, but mostly Argentina, I guess.
A lot of the Nazis that escaped went to Argentina and South America.
But anyway, he had a doctor that would give him, of course, anything he wanted, and what he basically gave him every morning was, first of all, a shot of straight sugar, just to help him. Give him some pep in the morning, and then he would give him... And they know this because they have all his medical records, and the doctor released all the medical records, too, they had in his information, and a lot of opiates, a lot of morphine, and I think even amphetamine. I know the soldiers were given amphetamine on practice and it's mistakenly called crystal meth. It's basically the same thing, but it's amphetamine is an actual pill form speed, whereas crystal meth is like a bathtub chemical base. But he was on a lot of drugs. Hitler. Yeah.
A guy that was in charge of one of the most powerful armies in the world at the time.
Dude, he was out of his mind. Yeah, he could have won. He could have gotten a stalemate at least. I mean, if he was all the way there. Because what they did is they took, like, the Czechs, they took everybody under the control and threw them in their army. So the army kept expanding every time.
So what you're saying is drugs are good. They stopped Hitler from winning the war.
I'm glad they let his doctor go. Let's put it that way. No.
Maybe the doctor was just like a secret Schindler type Nazi. Just like, okay.
Oh, yeah,
maybe I can
right.
kill this little
Schindler was the only Nazi to be recognized as the righteous among the nations by Israel. The only Nazi member.
That's,
I think there should have been a couple other Nazi members that should be, though.
A couple other good, like, good...
Yeah.
That sounds weird to say, a good Nazi.
It's a political party, you know. Yeah. I mean, it was, but I mean, a
lot of people were forced to
join. It's messed up, but no, that's just the climate, and there were good people, so, but
there were the Valkyrie people that kept trying to kill him.
Yeah, Valkyrie.
Did not like that movie.
Well, Tom Cruise, I mean, who gets away with not even trying a German accent or British accent or something? Don't they at least have British accents if they're in Europe? I don't know. He just played Tom Cruise. All right.
There was an episode it was 2003, I want to say. It was Hitler at the Rise of Evil, and Robert Carlyle played Hitler. Yeah. And it was just him talking in a British accent.
Yeah.
I'm Hitler!
I'm Hitler! Yeah, like he would ever. He probably didn't even speak English. I don't think Hitler knew much English.
Probably not.
I mean, nowadays a German would speak English pretty much given, but back then...
Is that kind of a default that they know English now?
In any German I've met, any German our generation, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
they have a cool accent.
I know that. Oh yeah, they In
fact, that is good.
Yeah, but that's a good thing because we can all communicate. We can all.
I wish I wasn't monolingual. I wish I knew a couple more languages.
Spanish. I know some pretty good Spanish. I just haven't. It's been a while since I've spoken it. So. But if I were to go to Mexico, it'd be nice or going to LA, for instance, I would be able to exercise my Spanish again.
Well, yeah, a lot of Spanish speakers down there.
Yeah, who don't actually speak good English.
Go to Hillsborough. There's a high concept, like a Hispanic concept.
My ex-wife. And trust me, I spent a lot of time in Hillsborough.
One thing I could never do is roll my R's.
There's the ere and there's the It's actually it's not I don't think of an R. I think of the D and L.
I can't do it.
Well, that's not it. It's most languages in the world do it to some extent. Like Yisrael. That's what you said, Israel. Yisrael. Yisrael. That's an easy one to do, really.
But I mean, like the
Spanish ones are really difficult, yeah.
But instead of the throat, it's the tongue.
So, like, you can say, there's a light one like catorce. Catorce is...
14.
Ere. Catorce, yeah. And then there's the double R. There's the roll, which, like, if you just say it in a Spanish, saying a sentence, it's easier to say than just doing it on its own. But like adrio, which just means up. But you don't. That's not how they say up in Mexico. So much as they say that, like in Costa Rica, that's how they say. They say arriba in Mexico.
Arriba, I've heard that word.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yes, you have. It just means up.
Oh.
Arriba. I can't do it.
I think that's in the La Bamba, the Richie Valens song.
La Bamba.
Arriba. Maybe.
Yeah, it's overplayed. I mean, the word. I mean, arriba. It's like in the cartoons with the mouse.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy Gonzalez, yeah.
The fastest mouse in Mexico.
Mexico. Yeah.
Ben's favorite thing to see in Spanish is, well, I guess Spanglish. There's a burro in my mochila.
A burro mean what?
Mochila.
Mochila? Okay. What is mochila?
Backpack.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know.
Hola, soy Dora.
A donkey. Why would you say that?
He just likes saying it. There's a donkey in my backpack.
Yeah.
There's un burro. I guess it sounds good. Un burro en mi mochila.
Mm-hmm. I used to speak really good Spanish.
¿Se habla español?
Sí.
Muy bien.
Bastante platicar conmigo si hablamos también.
Más o menos.
Más o menos.
Sí.
¿Qué hablamos entonces? Then we can speak.
No idea what you just said.
Yeah. Yes, I have a lot of experience with Spanish.
I took I think 3 Spanish classes.
Oh, you don't learn shit. It's that's the difference. Yeah, when you think of Germans taking English, by the way, they're not just taking 2 required, years or semesters or whatever English.
They're like this every year, probably.
Yeah, and not only that, it's also exposure. But like I actually heard a lot of their teachers don't speak very good English, though, who teach it. So, but so do our Spanish teachers, but they they learn it. I mean, the further east you go in Europe, the less likely they are to know English.
Yeah.
Basically, especially if they're less educated, kind of thing.
It's in song form. It's easier to learn foreign languages. Miss Helwig or Senorita Helwig, in high school, my junior year, I took 2 Spanish classes. I took one from Mr. Badson, who gave me
Which school? Hillsborough?
Century High School.
Century.
In Hillsborough.
When did you graduate from it?
2008. So
you know Marta Cunha?
I do not.
I was going to say that's my ex's sister. She went to Century, but she would have graduated, I think, around then.
Well, I didn't know everybody. I knew a great deal of people I didn't know. But I looked in the yearbook and I have no idea who some people are.
Yeah.
But our classes had I think there was over 1,000 people in each class.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know everybody.
Yeah.
But in Helwig's class, she had the song that I still remember to this day. Viernes, viernes, viernes es el día mejor. Lunes es tan feo, martes también. Miércoles mejor, jueves está bien. Viernes, viernes, viernes es el día mejor.
I never learned that one.
Oh God, she had a guitar in class, and she would pick it up and she'd sing the English version first. Friday, Friday, Friday is my favorite day.
Yeah.
Monday, I don't even remember the English version.
Americans are too proud, to really embrace the bilingual curriculum, and you know what I mean. And you can't really make the argument we were here first, because not really, because most Mexicans have more Native American blood than we do. I mean, so
supposedly I'm part Cherokee.
Well, yeah, I'm French Indian and I don't know what. I'd ask. I have a grandmother who knows. But yeah, I'm part. I mean, most people are, but we're white. No difference. But it's outside of the communities where they benefit from the families that grow up bilingual, which is such a great tool. I mean, I heard John Kerry, when he ran against Bush, had to hide the fact he spoke French.
Really? Wow.
He speaks French,
You know why that is, though?
Well,
it was 2004, And
well, that is true. France specifically,
because there was a lot of anti-France sentiment in America back then because they.
But John Kerry's 180 years old. He must have learned French like, when we got the Statue of Liberty or something. You know what I mean? I mean, when French was used as a diplomatic language, French used to be the new English. French was English. French was a language that was spoken widely.
But do you remember like how there was a lot of people who were really pissed off about France not helping out with Iraq?
Oh, I know.
And like at the time, everyone replaced French toast with freedom toast, and I'm gonna have a plate of freedom fries.
It's fun. I don't think it's funny. I think it's scary. I don't know.
It was kind of dumb. I remember.
I guess it's not scary. Of course, I've lived in the South, so it's not that scary. I mean, a lot of my friends are people who I don't agree with politically. Okay, real quick. Who's gonna win? Not who do you want to win? Who's gonna win? Clinton or Trump? Or Stein or somebody else?
Who's going to win? Not who I want to win.
Who's going to win? Yeah.
Jesus. It's going to be Clinton or Trump.
Well, no, just one.
I'll be honest. I have no idea. It could go either way.
You want to make a guess?
I have no idea because this election has been so insane. I honestly think Trump has a chance, which I never would have thought a year ago. I think he...
Well, yeah, he has Republican nomination.
He has... all the people that were... so many of the Republicans... the public figure Republicans that stood up against him, so many of them have crumbled. Ted Cruz recently is now endorsing him, even though Trump called his father a conspirator in the JFK assassination, and he said his wife was ugly.
Julian Assange, how he keeps releasing this stuff that is hurting Hillary. They brought him on Fox News because he's the guy who owns WikiLeaks, right?
Yeah.
He's stuck in little Ecuador, right? He can't leave the embassy there because
there's probably British troops surrounding the embassy.
They want him in German Holland somewhere where he's wanted for supposedly rape or something. And
I think that's bullshit, but who knows?
It probably is, but there may be some middle blurry situation. But God, it doesn't make sense anyway. Why would he be there just because of that? Because he's afraid of being extradited to the United States, I think. Like the same reason Snowden can't come back anytime soon. But they'll still end up like Chelsea Manning, or
they'll be in prison for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, but anyway, Julian Assange, very interesting guy, man. They brought him on Fox News, and of course Fox News is blood hungry for the answer to this question. Is this new information going to be enough to, because Hillary still has the lead, is this new information going to be enough to knock her out of the lead? And he said, well, I don't know, I can't say that. And then, they couldn't get it out of him. But eventually they asked him, well, there ever been anything on Trump? And he goes, well, the thing is Donald Trump says things that we couldn't possibly make him look any worse. He literally said that.
This is Heavy Set